welcome back to another episode of the Sister Talk podcast. I'm your host, Go Chat. And I'm just a sister who has a lot to talk about from week to week. And y'all know this week ain't gonna be no different. I'm always gonna have something else to talk about. So what's been going on with your sister this week? So this past week, if you all follow me on social media, you all know that I took a little me-cation to Pittsburgh. I wasn't happy about the drive because the drive was about 3.5 to 4 hours. However, there was an event there that I wanted to be a part of, which was the Big Money Talk 2024 Juneteenth event. So I did make it a mission to be there, be in that room, and soak up some of the information that Master P and Dame Dash was dropping. So it definitely was a good time. Then they had several other Juneteenth events going on in the area over the weekend. But really just, took that time to get away and, just swim in the pool and let my hair down for a little while. So it's always good to just get away for a couple of days, even if it's by yourself. So your sister, had a good time. Wish I could have had somebody to tag along with me, but, sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. But, still enjoyed myself, still had a great time, made it back safely. The experience was good. I think it's so funny because I always end up in these situations where I'm somewhere where there'll be like a celebrity or something like that, and just like by accident or by like happenstance that I actually am this close to the person. So it was cool, to be able to be that close to the Master P. I wish I would have been able to ask some questions, but hey, in the future. One of the other things that I had attended this week was Juneteenth. We can't start this episode off without paying homage to our ancestors and thanking them for, their contributions in history, blazing the path for us to have and live and have the privileges that we have today. So definitely wanted to bring up Juneteenth and just say that, happy Juneteenth celebration. I know I'm a little late by the time y'all see this, but happy Juneteenth, happy day of Jubilee, happy Independence Day for Black people. If you all don't know what Juneteenth is, because I think a lot of people actually celebrate the holiday, but can't really say that they know exactly what it is. It got signed into as a federal holiday in 2021. So a lot of people just know it as, oh, well, we finally got a day. Some of us are just like, we finally got a day. We don't care what it's for. As long as I don't got to go to work, that's all that matters. But I did want to just drop a couple gems on y'all and let y'all know what Juneteenth actually is. Because Juneteenth is a major part of our history as Black people. And it's definitely something that we should know about. So Juneteenth originated back in 1865. Now, just to give you a little backstory, the Emancipation Proclamation was signed by Abraham Lincoln in 1863. We all know what the Emancipation Proclamation was. That was the original order that said, hey, free the slaves. That happened in 1863, but you'll notice that in 1865, when I said Juneteenth was first recognized, that was officially when 250-some thousand Black slaves in Texas did not know that they were free. They found out 2 years after this order was signed into proclamation, signed into legislature. They found out 2 years later that they were free. So that means that the country got 2 years of free labor from these people because they didn't know that they were free. So in 1865, there were basically a fleet of soldiers who came to those people and let them know that they were free. And of course, being that they were free, it was new information to them. Of course, they wanted to celebrate and have a great time. So that's why we have the Juneteenth celebrations that we have today, is because once those people found out that they were free, it became a center of culture. The original observances included prayer meetings, singing of spirituals, celebrating wearing new clothes, anything that you could think that these people would do to, be proud and bask in the fact that they were newly free. That's what this celebration is about. With that being said, I would like to, you know what? I'm going to spill the tea, okay? Time to spill the tea. Because we're talking about Juneteenth, and because Juneteenth, just happened, and it's a very new holiday. A new observance for people, Black people of this generation. Many don't know their history. I would like to let you all know how Juneteenth became a federal holiday. And which I find is crazy that, okay, this guy signed into legislature in 2021. We're now in 2024. And this is the first time that I'm hearing the story behind how this holiday became a federal holiday. And what's so crazy to me is I learned it on TikTok. Like, it's a shame that, TikTok really teaches so much information. But if it wasn't for TikTok, I probably would not have known this information. There was a woman, or is a woman, I should say. Her name is Opal Lee. Opal Lee is a 89. Actually, she's older than that now. Opal Lee is in her 90s. She's about maybe 93, 94 now. But in 2021, Opal Lee became the grandmother of Juneteenth. The reason why she became the grandmother of Juneteenth is because she started a journey back in 2016, where she walked from Fort Worth, Texas to DC in order to garner support for making Juneteenth a federal holiday. Now, a lot of people may say, she didn't walk that far. And you would be correct. She did not walk 100%, from Fort Worth, Texas to DC, but there were various stops along the way. And Sis was able to get over 1.5 million signatures from people who supported this cause. And that wasn't even the last time that she hit the ground running. That was in 2016. She then again took back to the trail in 2019, right before the pandemic. And that was when she gained the steam and gained the support of the president in order to make this holiday a federal holiday. And the importance of Opal Lee is because, obviously enough, Opal Lee is 90 some years old, and we're not that far from removed from slavery. And I know this is not the first time that I said it, but we're not so far removed from slavery that this woman lived during that time period, and she's still alive today. And so Opal Lee comes with a vast amount of knowledge and experience with firsthand being discriminated against. She shares her story about a Juneteenth where her parents and her moved into a predominantly affluent white neighborhood when she was younger, and they were ran out by town folks who tormented them and basically said, hey, you're here today, but you'll be gone tomorrow. And she recalls that story being, I don't know, 8, 9 years old, something like that. She recalls being this young and experiencing this, and it always changed her life forever, to the point where she had to rally for justice. And so I think it's a lot to say about this, because not only did Opal experience segregation and racism firsthand growing up, she is a full circle moment, because in 2023, she was actually able to reclaim that land that was stolen from her parents. And it's very sad because, her parents were upstanding people. They had affluent careers. They bought this home. I'm sure they thought that they were buying this home for a great opportunity for their children. They bought this home with all this opportunity and were ran out of it, and basically wasted their money. They spent money for something that they weren't even able to live in and enjoy. So in 2023, after all of her hard work, she worked very hard to reclaim the land on East Annie Street where her family home once had been. And so basically a local Habitat for Humanity group owned the land in 2023, and she asked if she could buy the lot where the house had once stood. And the group, nobly enough, sold the property for $10, which is an amount that would legally bind this transaction. And then they offered to build her a house on that lot. And I just love that for her. I love that for us. Because she lived to see a better day. We have so much further to go, but I'm sure for her that was a huge success, and all of her willpower and manpower that she put behind marching definitely pays off for us as well today. So we got to give her her hand claps and give her her props, because if it wasn't for Opal Lee, Juneteenth wouldn't be a federal holiday. This woman's courageous actions, we now can say that Juneteenth is a federal holiday to be observed every year on June 19th. Now, I want to speak on this a little bit longer, only because I feel as though I'm happy to see the amount of Juneteenth celebrations that have been popping up since 2021. Because I'm a person who was privy to what Juneteenth was before it became a mainstream holiday. From my experience, living and growing up in central Pennsylvania area, I had noticed a lot of us celebrating holidays such as St. Patrick's Day and going all out. I mean, patriotic for something that we have no connection to. And I've always said, we need to celebrate our own holiday. The way that we celebrate the holidays of all these other cultures, we need to celebrate ourselves the same way. And so I'm happy on that note to say that we now have a holiday that is for us, a holiday where we can celebrate our culture and celebrate our successes and how far we have come. Now, my problem with the holiday in itself is, of course, when we now make this a federal holiday, now Uncle Sam got to have his hands in the pocket. And I don't like the fact that I've witnessed several Juneteenth events that are predominantly, and when I say that, not in attendance, I don't mean attendance. I mean several events have vendors, food trucks, all these different things, but you don't see any black business in sight. And so what I would challenge us to do, because I'm not going to be negative about it, because, small successes are still successes, but I would challenge us as a people, when we go forward with these Juneteenth events, let's think about how powerful the black dollar is in the first place. Think about why they want our black dollar, why they want our black vote, and basically pool together to help our community and to help our business owners get that type of support that they may not get any other day of the year. So I would challenge us to bring out more black-owned business, food trucks, food vendors, black entertainment, just because I just feel like this is a grand opportunity for our people to do something for our people. And I would love to see that just continue to develop over the years. But like I said, I'm not going to be negative about it, but I just feel as though there's been a lot of shucking and jiving going on. And I'm going to say it. Some of y'all may be thinking it, but I said it. It's been a lot of shucking and jiving going on. And I would challenge us to stand on our own 2 feet and not feel like we have to include the others in everything that we do, because they benefit 365. This should be the one day of the year that we make somebody a millionaire from our community. And that's all I got to say about that. Moving on. Let's spill the tea on some more topics. So with that being said, a lot of shucking and jiving and whatnot going on. We already know that the election is coming up this year in November. We already know that our options are terrible. The options that we have right now for presidency kind of looks like the dating pool. A little shitty. But, Donald Trump is running again after being convicted of 34 felonies. And then we got dementia. Joe Biden. We got Joe Biden on the ticket. And we really, at this point, we don't know how to feel about it. But one thing that we know for certain is that the Republicans are not letting up. We know what to expect from the Republicans because they've made it evident time and time again how, much they spew hate. That's the way I'll say it. They spew hate every chance that they get. We saw it with the chaos in Congress between the two young ladies that were going back and forth. We saw it. We see it all the time. But the situation that I want to let you all know about today is a situation with a Republican candidate from Missouri for the Secretary of State, and her name is Valentina Gomez. Now, Valentina Gomez is a proud Trump supporter, okay? Devout, some would say. And this young lady made a video. She made a video, and I wish she had not, to be honest, because it was distasteful. The reason why this is relevant to what we were talking about with Juneteenth is because this young lady took it upon herself to say that Juneteenth was a ratchet holiday. Now, my problem with this usage of wording is why we gotta be ratchet? Why we gotta be ratchet? Like, we can't do anything good without the media or without somebody spewing hatred towards what it is that we do. Realistically, like, okay, I can see them trying to say during these Juneteenth events, there are fatalities or injuries or whatever the case may be because something happened. But we're not the only ones that have things that happen at our events. If we're going to put apples to apples, let's put 4th of July, where we know people shoot guns all night and there have been people got trampled because they're running away from something, all these different things that are going on. So I don't think that there has been anything that's notably crazy enough for somebody to call Juneteenth a ratchet holiday. But anyway, watch the video really quickly and leave me your thoughts.
Reparations from slavery and black victimization is about to be shoved down our throats for the most ratchet holiday in America. BLM raised millions, but what did they do for black lives? It is outrageous to see people asking for reparations even though they never went through slavery. These ungrateful people should be celebrated because they were born in the greatest nation to ever exist. Here's a tip. If you don't like America, kindly get the fuck out.
You hear this woman say, reparations from slavery and black victimization is about to be shoved down our throats for the most wretched holiday in America. Like, this is irky to me because we know that whitewashing is a thing. We know that they want to whitewash this history, something terrible, and make it as if slavery never existed. And it bothers me because the history, like, y'all want us to forget something that was so key to building this country in the first place. And we were a major contribution to this country being the force that it is today. And so it bothers me that, you know, all these people try to downplay what part that played in history. Now, my thing is, you know, she goes on to say it is outrageous to see people asking you for reparations, even though they never went through slavery. These ungrateful people should be celebrating because they were born in the greatest nation to ever exist. Here's the tip. If you don't like America, kindly get the fuck out. And she said the F word, by the way. Like, it bothers me because we may not have participated in slavery at all, but our ancestors never got what was owed to them. And that's why we want reparations. It's because we never got an opportunity as a people to be able to get something from our government in order to give us level playing field in this country. We've always started behind the finish line. We've never had nobody rooting for us and doing anything for us. We always had to get it out the mud. So it would be nice for you all to acknowledge and pay homage to those families, because the same way we said Opal Lee's family got driven out of their town, of a house that her parents had bought, and they never turned back around to claim what was theirs. Think about how many families in this country had something stolen away from them. So when we say we want reparations for all the torment that our families and our ancestors had gone through. And yes, we want what is a part of our lineage. We were born here. Like you said, we were born here. So we deserve to have those things that our ancestors worked hard for that you all forcefully took away from us. And so it really pisses me off, really, to think about how somebody can be so insensitive. And I hate to even bring this up because anytime we bring up the Jewish community, it's anti-Semitism. Like, they always got a problem when we want to talk about the Jewish people. But let's be clear, the Jewish people are the only other people who have experienced, well, I'm not going to say the only other. They're one of the only other groups that have experienced like this mass massacre in a way that Black people have. But we have been enslaved and, all of those different things for hundreds of years. So, whereas the Holocaust took place for a period of time and things of that nature, I'm not going to sit here and compare apples to apples. However, I said that to say that the Jewish people got reparations. So therefore, we should get what is due to us as well. We should get reparations. And I think the thing that irritates me the most with this situation is because, like I said, there's a lot of shucking and driving going on out here. Sis with the name Valentina Gomez, ma'am, you're not white. You had your people had a hard way to go too. So the fact that you can sit here and try to shuck and jive for the other man, when your people need assistance, we're on the front line with your people trying to help your people. But nobody ever returns the favor when it comes to us. And it's just so crazy to me that a woman of color, because ma'am, I don't care how fair skinned you are, still nigga. They will still have a problem with you. They will still prejudge your people. They will still abuse your people and not pay your people enough for hard labor. So at the end of the day, this fight may not be your fight, but we all have the same fight at the end of the day. And so it really disgusted me that this woman could come out of her mouth with this foolishness. But I said all I'm going to say about the situation. She don't really deserve no more time. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on what this woman said? Because I feel as though they're rallying for this Black vote. One thing that I said previously is our Black dollars are strong, but our Black vote is strong as well. Why do you think they try to pander to us every chance that they get? Because they know that we carry weight. We're the only ones that don't know that we carry weight. So they're out here petitioning for Black Republicans or Blacks who support Trump. But yet they sit here and spew this type of information every which way. Now, I understand that our candidates are not strong candidates. However, are you really comfortable enough to vote for somebody who looks at you and tells you blatantly, I hate you. I hate you. You don't deserve to be here. And that's why I have a problem with this. I feel as though we need to bring more awareness to it because there's a lot of Blacks out here that's like, oh, I vote for Trump because of da-da-da. Like, shut the hell up. Because at the end of the day, Trump don't give a damn about you. Okay? He don't give a damn. He's not fighting for your tax bracket. He's fighting for the people, the 1%. You don't fall into that. They got different set of problems. The problems you have, he don't give a damn about. So I really want y'all to opinion on this. I want y'all to chime in and let me know how y'all feel. Is this a slap in the face to Black Americans, Black voters that they're trying to pander to and get to come out and vote for him? We can't support foolishness. So leave your thoughts down in the chat. Now back to more shucking and jiving for y'all. Listen. Look. Thou shalt not try me, move 24/7. Today is the day we bringing out the big guns, okay? I'm bringing out the guns and I'm shooting. Pop, pop, pop. Okay, I'm shooting. I'm irritated this week, so I got a lot to talk about because I'm not cutting no cards with y'all this week. Now, with Timbaland and Swiss Beats. Now, we know that Timbaland and Swiss Beats started versus battles back in 2020 during the pandemic. Everybody knows what versus battles is. It started on the platform of Instagram where we take two artists who have, large music catalogs and basically they go song for song and the internet judges who won at the end of the whole entire thing. It started there, it escalated to now we had a bigger stage, a bigger platform where we got to see, people such as Bobby Brown, Keith Sweat, Ja Rule. We got to see a lot of our favorites on a platform and be recognized, for their contribution to the culture. And so, we all love this platform. We all love the platform. We all have enjoyed it in some capacity. But the reason why I say it's a lot of shucking and jiving going on around here is because Timbaland and Swiss Beats just relaunched Versus. They just signed a distribution deal with Elon Musk to partnership with X so that they could basically put Versus on X, on that platform. They said, well, this is a lucrative deal for all of us. It's mutually beneficial for everyone. And it's black owned. Okay. It's black owned till it's not. It's black owned until it's not. Okay. When I went to this Big Money Talk this past week, right, one of the things, I can't remember whether it was Master P or Dame Dash, which one of us said it, but I do know that one of them said, we don't have anything that's for us as far as networks. BET, Black Entertainment Television, is not owned by us. What do you say? He went down a lot of other black networks. I can't even think, Bounce and some more of them that are not black owned. So it's black owned until it's not. Okay. Do we really think that X is the proper platform for Versus? Show of hands, let's take a poll down below in the chat. When you're on X, do you watch live stream? Because I don't. But then again, I'm not the majority because I barely use X in the first place. So I know I'm not the best person to ask this question to. But when I think about live streaming and videos, I don't think, oh, let me go on X and see who's on live stream today. I either get on TikTok, Instagram still would have been a great platform, but all in all, like YouTube couldn't have been a thing, or and you all signed this deal on Juneteenth, so there was a great opportunity where you possibly could have tried to spark a deal with one of these black networks that are coming up. We got people like Ray J that are coming up with, networks. We got people such as Dame Dash that are coming up with networks. There are so many black networks that are coming up. And so you all couldn't think of a better way to put the money back into our hands in some regards. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't like Elon Musk and we know this already. But chime into the chat and let me know your thoughts. Like, how do you feel? Like, is it a slap to the black community that Timbaland and Swiss went to Elon Musk to sign this deal with X? Or was it just good business? Let me know in the chat. But that's it for Spill the Tea this week. But I want to ask you all a question. Did you know? Did you know? And I'm sure you didn't know because I just found out. And of course, I found out from TikTok. So I grew up watching, not watching. I grew up playing like Super Mario Brothers, Mario Party, things of that nature. So it holds a very dear spot in my heart. And I remember those times with the Nintendo 64 where all my cousins used to get together no matter where we were at, whether we were my aunts, my grandmothers, whoever's house. We always had the 64. We always had Mario Party. We was always battling against each other. So it's a fond memory that I have. I always was Mario. Everybody knows I was always Mario. My cousin, she was always Yoshi, and I think my other cousin was always Luigi or like Wario or something. But nonetheless, I was always Mario. So I remember keenly as a child saying, "It's me, Mario." I remember just saying that all the time. And I know y'all remember saying it all the time. But you know what's so funny? Did you know that he's not saying it's me, Mario? I was today years old where my mind was was blown because I thought for sure he was saying, "It's me, Mario." And come to find out, what was he really saying? He was saying, "It's Sue me. It's Sue me. It's Sue me, Mario." Which means superb or great in Japanese. So basically, he's saying, "It's Sue me," which means super Mario. Blown, my mind is blown. Okay, listen, I would have never known if it wasn't for TikTok. It blew my mind. Then it sent me down a rabbit hole because they're like, well, you call them the Super Mario Brothers, right? So that means that Mario's name is Mario. And Luigi's name is Luigi Mario. I was today years old when I felt this out. Let me know in the chat if you knew this already or if this is new information, because I feel like this held such a sweet spot in our hearts and in our childhoods, and I just feel like I was lied to my whole childhood. Like the whole time I could have been saying, "It's to me." I could have been like, "I know Japanese, y'all." But let me know in the chat your thoughts. Did you know? Did you not know? Am I late? Because I'm late on a lot of different things, so I'll take the charge if that's what it is. Now, it's time for, we haven't had one of these in a while, but it's time for conspiracy talk. All right, so it's time for conspiracy talk. Now, again, I went down a rabbit hole on TikTok. I haven't had a good conspiracy for y'all for a while. I mean, I've seen some things, but I'm like, I always got to think about how far am I willing to go? Because I don't want anybody to send, APS to my house and say, I think she wears an aluminum hat at night. I don't want those type of problems. So I be trying to pick and choose about what I want to talk about with y'all. Because I've seen a lot of stuff about tree people and all types of other stuff. And y'all probably be like, what is wrong with her? Anyway, on Conspiracy Talk this week, I'm going to talk about, we've talked about clones a lot of the time. I think our favorite person to say was cloned was Jamie Foxx, Kanye West. We talked a lot about these people being cloned, but not this person being, I guess it would be a facet of being cloned. But there is a TikTok rumor, a TikTok theory going around that Orlando Brown, Bad Boy, okay, and Trippie Redd, musician, rapper, are the same person. Now, when I show you this picture on the screen, you're going to be like, no way. You're going to be like, now I can't unsee it. Because when I saw it, I couldn't unsee it either. And not to mention just the resemblance being uncanny. But there are videos of each of the people. So Trippie Redd had an interview where he basically said he created Orlando Brown. And then there's a video of Orlando Brown saying that he's Trippie Redd. So what's going on here? Like, are you out playing in our face at this point? I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised. That it wouldn't be the first time that Orlando Brown said that somebody else was in somebody else's body. He said it about Whitney Houston. He said it about Michael Jackson. We saw it on Get Out where they took the likeness of a person and put them in somebody else. And I always say that, that didn't come out of nowhere. It's very possible that it happens in real life. So we got to take heed to it. Then what fuels the fire is the fact that the two have never been filmed in a room together. So that adds to the speculation that they are the same person. Conspiracy or not? I don't know. You be the judge. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Let me know. Is it a conspiracy or is it not? Well, that was a nice short episode for you all this week. I had a lot to talk about, but I wanted to stay to the hardcore facts. Because Juneteenth, I'm all about the advancement of our people, the education, the elevation, all those good things. I'm always about that. And so I wanted to really hone in on the importance of this holiday so you know the purpose of it, so you know what you should be celebrating each year when we have these celebrations. I also wanted you to know that they're playing in our face, that they're hoping that we're ignorant, that we're not paying attention enough, that they can say things like how Valentina Gomez said in that video that I showed you all today, that they can say those things and they're above the law and they still will get our vote. It's time for us to wisen up, okay? Wisen up and be a little smart. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to say our other option is that much better. Not going to say it, but hey, at the end of the day, I can't vote for somebody who openly hates me and openly hates anybody that looks like me. It's a slap to the face and is a setback for this country. And I believe that he's basically using the Make America Great Again to stir up the good old boys and reinforce things from our past. And I think that's a very scary thing for our people. And I think if we vote for him as a people, we won't have anything for much longer because they're going to try to take it from us. So those are my thoughts for the day. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of the Sistah Talk podcast. I'm your host, Gold Chain Diva. And if you would like to follow me on social media, you can follow me at goldchain__diva. And as always, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you can be notified every Monday at 8 p.m. when I drop another episode. Thank you for tuning in and have a great night.